Okay, one more call. If board members have not come in, have not signed in, please do so. And board members, we'd like you to sit up as close as possible. And if you're here to speak during public session, we have green sheets in the back. Please make sure you've signed in a green sheet and hand it over to us in the front. Thank you.
I got you, Steve. He got you. He got you. Thank you, everybody, and welcome to tonight's CB10 general meeting for April. We're going to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you all please rise? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First order of business, we're going to need an adoption of the agenda. Liz and Tracy. We also need an adoption for the minutes. Judy and Barbara. Okay, we're going to start off with our public session. First up, I'd like to invite Nancy Lulu from Brooklyn DA Eric Gonzalez's office. Number one.
Wow, that was so quick. Thank you, Sandy.
Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. It's great to be here. I bring greetings on behalf of DA Gonzalez to everyone. DA Gonzalez firmly believes that public safety is a shared commitment and a shared responsibility. I just wanted to share that the Brooklyn DA's office, in partnership with NYPD, will be hosting a prescription drug take-back event on April 24th from 10 to 3 at several drop-off locations throughout Brooklyn. The closest site to here, within confines CB10 and the 6-8 precinct, is Bay Ridge Center for Older Adults at 15 Bay Ridge Avenue. So community members are encouraged to bring any unneeded expired medications for safe disposal. This effort helps prevent misuse and support public health. So no needles, no inhalers. Flyers in the back, clean out your medicine cabinets, and it's a safe way to get rid of it. And as always, if there's anything you would like to address with the Brooklyn DA's office, a public safety concern or follow up on a case, to call our action center at 718-250-2340. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Next up, I'd like to invite Maya Yedin from Senator Andrew Gennardis' office. Maya, how are you? Welcome.
Hi, everybody. It's going to be super, super, super fast today, even though Lori Windsor is not here to time me. Upcoming is our most popular event of the year, which we do in conjunction now with Kayla's office, and that is our document shredding and e-waste event. Hi, Stephen. And we are doing it the day before Mother's Day this year, so Saturday, May 9th, at the St. Anselm parking lot from 10 to 1. You could drive up or walk up. And then the only other thing I'm going to say is we have our no soliciting allowed signs, and that's all I got.
Thank you, Maya. Next up, I'd like to invite Ian Yandin from Assembly Member Michael Tenusa's office. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. How are you? My name is Ian Yanda, here from Assemblyman Michael Tenusa's office. Just a couple quick updates. As we all may know, the budget in the state still has passed. It was supposed to pass back on April 1st. Up there, we have our coalition of Assembly members, senators, all fighting to make sure that our districts here back at home get our fair share of resources from the state. So that's a fight that's still ongoing, and our elected reps including Assemblyman Tanusis, are going to make sure that they fight to make sure Brooklyn and Staten Island get their fair share of taxpayer dollars coming back to district. On top of that, I just want to make sure that we get to promote our upcoming Boardwalk Bash event that we're going to be hosting in June. It's going to be June 25th, rain date June 26th at the FDR Boardwalk right over the bridge on the Staten Island side. It's going to be a health and resource fair targeted at for the senior community, and it's going to be a great day in partnership with Northwell SIUH. Plenty of health resources in the community for our seniors. I will have flyers next month when they are printed, so there will be more information and details to follow. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ian. Next up, I'd like to call up Michael Sheldon from the office of Kayla Santasuso, council member.
Hi, how you doing? Hi, thanks all. Michael Sheldon here for Councilmember Kayla Santasuso. Maya, as she usually does, scooped me on our most important news of the month, which is our e-waste and shredding event. So I will skip straight to mentioning that Councilmember Santasuso earlier this month had her first child. She had a daughter. And so she's taking a brief parental leave, but that didn't stop her from introducing her first bill, which is meant to expand insurance coverage of PGTA testing, which is a kind of genetic testing that is meant to save a little time, stress, and money for parents trying to conceive via IVF. It's a type of testing that is not usually covered by insurance, which is unfortunate because in the long run it winds up saving time and money for not just the family trying to have a child, but also healthcare providers and insurers. So we're trying to square that circle, and hopefully this bill gets us started on that. Yeah, otherwise just great to see you all. Kayla looks forward to being here in person. I don't know if I can take, yeah. Yeah.
Kayla voted against the buffer zone around Can you repeat the question? Well, first I stated a fact, and then I'm asking for an explanation. Kayla was one of 5 council people who voted against having a buffer zone around houses of worship and schools. So if you could explain that to us, it would be good.
Sure, yeah. I welcome the question. Thank you for that. I think what I would say is, so yes, Kayla voted against buffer zone bills for protests around houses of worship and around schools. I think her main concern was constitutional. She thinks these are bills, laws now that violate the First Amendment. And I think the other thing is she absolutely believes that everybody should have safe access to their houses of worship, to campuses, to educational facilities. Those safe access to those places is already guaranteed by federal law. She feels that these city laws were sort of an unconstitutional performance on the idea of extending that protection in a way that even the New York Police Department itself testified would not change their enforcement practices at all. I know there's a lot of heated emotion around these laws. Kayla's opposition to them was on those purely legal grounds. I don't know if you want me to take another one, but there's another question.
So if it's a constitutional issue, is she planning to introduce a bill against buffer zones around abortion centers?
No, she is not. I think there are differences there about safe access again, which in the case of these other 2 facilities is already guaranteed under federal law. Yeah.
Thank you, Michael. Next, I'd like to invite Ken Sen from Senator Stephen Chan's office.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ken, representing Senator Steve Chen this evening here. I come to share with you guys. Our office have two mental health seminars coming up. The first one is hosted at the address here is 6915 15th Avenue on Saturday, May 2nd, 2026, from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mental health is real. We have the honor to have Dr. Henry Zhu to come and talk to us about managing child and adolescent emotion. This regulation a two-way street. So there has been a lot of bad news out there. Kids are doing bad things to themselves. So we rally and we encourage parents and students to come out and attend the seminar. That's one of the seminars. The second seminar is we have it on the Thursday, April 23rd, 2026, from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. The address is 6906 18th Avenue. We have the honor to invite Dr. Kristen Chi from the Kaipa Foundation, CAIPA. And the topic is to discuss supporting your child's healthy development. So I hope everyone can make it or share with your friends and come join us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Next, I'd like to invite Stanley Nig from Councilmember Susan Shurei's office. Shuang? Okay.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to make two announcements. Number one, we have many activities and events in our district. However, for me to find the one that was concerning Community Board 10 is this one. We have a baby shower this Saturday. Okay, I put it in the back for everybody. Please, please, please let people know about this. We will have baby formulas, we will have diapers available, and other things for younger families. So please pass the word for us. If it works out, we will be getting one truck every 2 months. Okay? So please help us make a success. Pass the word, all right? That's number one. Yes, Frank? Yes. I'll tell you why, because we don't want to get into a situation where people are taking the stuff and either giving it away or selling it. That's why we want to see the kids. I'm sorry. That was what was worked out. Okay? Second part, the council member, Susan Zhang, is also chair of the Aging Committee. And I want to let it be known that we will be visiting as many senior centers all over the city, okay? And we would like for you to pass the word, invite us, we will come to visit, okay? She's been out in the Bronx, she's been out in Queens. We'd like to visit every one of them in our area of Brooklyn, all right? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, I'd like to invite Dominic Schlossberg from Councilmember Alexa Avila's office.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name's Dominic. I'm from Councilmember Alexa Avila's office. We also have a couple of announcements to share tonight. So, as the rep from Michael Tanousas' office mentioned, the state budget is late. The state budget affects very much how the city budget is going to look like. Oftentimes we need to compensate for the things that aren't included in the state budget to fund and fully invest in our public services. And that's something that the council member is fighting constantly to do. Recently, the council member circulated a sign-on letter to call for raising taxes on the most profitable corporations in New York State, taxes that would raise almost $2 billion to fund vital social services and public services from education to sanitation and libraries. You can join in by keeping track of those budget hearings that are currently happening. The first round is already over, but the second round of budget hearings are getting started. So if you're interested, sign up to our newsletter or just keep track on the New York City Council's website. We also have some pretty cool events coming up, not exactly in Community Board 10, but definitely in the neighboring area. One is the Lions Club Health Fair. That's going to be on Sunday, April 26th. It's at Our Lady of Perpetual Help. And the fair is basically offering free health screenings. It's offering referrals to programs, services and assistance with accessing health coverage, nutritional education, and it's sort of inspired just by filling the gaps in healthcare. There's going to be free prostate cancer and colon cancer screenings for men above 45. So also food and beverage. Then we are very excited to announce our town hall. It's going to be on April 29th. It's labor themed. It's at Sunset Park High School from 6 to 8 p.m. So you can attend to hear from labor leaders and organizers on how to, protect your rights in the workplace. So we'd really love if you could come and share your voice. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, I'd like to invite Annie Cooney regarding a parking decrease.
Thank you. I'll be very brief. I am a local community Board 10 committee member, as well as I'm a homeowner in the neighborhood, and something that has really been distressing me lately is the very obvious decrease in the number of available parking. I mean, it's a very congested neighborhood as it is, and parking has been quietly being eliminated through different programs, such as the City Bike program has taken out a lot of unnecessary spots. When I go around the neighborhood, there's a lot of places where they've taken out up to 6 spots or more, where those spots, they can place those bikes on the curb instead of in the street, eliminating parking. So thank you. And also around the neighborhood, they have taken out corner parking, like right here on Marine and 3rd Avenue, where they said that it was for pedestrian safety, but I highly doubt that. I think that they're trying to slowly just do away with as much parking as possible and increasing biking lanes, which also, again, which I love biking, but I think that our neighborhood is experiencing a decrease in parking, and it's very thoughtfully being done on purpose. So I'm against that, and I just wanted to share that with everybody. If please make your voices heard. We are all invested in this community, and I don't think it's right that they're being removed like the way they're doing under the guise of other health and benefits. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to invite Jesse Figueroa regarding the MTA online.
Good evening, everybody. Jesse Figueroa here, known as the Transit Czar. I am a U.S. Army veteran and member of the American Legion and Veterans of Foreign Wars, also a volunteer accessibility transportation advocate with MTA Accessibility. First, regarding the MTA's Interborough Express presentation, I like to acknowledge the significance of this project for Southern Brooklyn. The IBX has the potential to create long overdue connectivity across Brooklyn and Queens, reduce travel times, and relieve pressure on existing subway lines. As planning advances, I urge continued coordination with Community Board 10 to ensure that station access, ADA compliance, like for seniors, people with disabilities and their caregivers, and fellow veterans, including myself and many in the area, and pedestrian safety remain essential to the design. Clear communication about construction impacts, service changes, and community engagement opportunities will be essential as this project moves forward. On the NYPD update concerning the ART train along 4th Avenue line between Berridge Avenue and 95th Street, I appreciate the ongoing dialogue. Riders continue to express concerns about safety, visibility of patrols, and response times during off-peak hours. Strengthening collaboration between NYPD Transit, local precincts, and the MTA can help address quality of life issues on platforms, improve incident reporting, and reinforce a sense of security for daily commuters, seniors, veterans, caregivers, and students who rely on this corridor. Continue updates to the board will help ensure transparency and accountability. Thank you for the time and your engagement to keeping our district informed and engaged. Thank you. Arrivederci. Gracias. Shishi. It's for you.
Thank you. Man of many talents. Next up, I'd like to introduce Jessica Callow from Brooklyn Borough President Antonio Reynoso's office. Jessica, how are you?
How are you? So nice to see you. Hello. Hello, everybody. My name is Jessica Callow. I'm from the Borough President's Office. I don't have much, so I'm not going to take away your time. I'm in the back if you need anything. Otherwise, congratulations in advance to everybody who gets appointed. Yes.
Can you tell them about the winner of the pin, for the Brooklyn pin?
That is a
The
great
design, and do you have two extra, one for Sandy and one for Josephine? Oh, and one for her.
You know, I'm so bad. I should have brought pins with me this time around. They didn't distribute. They didn't make it to my office for distribution. But I will have them next meeting for you guys. So, so the winner, I don't know too much about her, but she is a 17-year-old from South Brooklyn, of Ukrainian descent, I believe. And her parents were immigrants, and we're very proud of that. We're proud of the fact that her art design made it. We're proud that she's a high school student. There's a full background on her, I know, online, and I can share that with you guys next time. But she is wonderful, and she is wonderful. Her artwork is amazing. And she's lovely to meet in person. She was at our State of the Borough. For those of you that did come, thank you for coming. We had our State of the Borough. Danielle, we saw you. Thank you. But yeah, she was there. We did the unveiling there, and yes, we had those designs there. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Next, I'd like to acknowledge Colonel Mitzi Cantwell from Fort Hamilton Army Garrison.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, as always, for your support. The one announcement I have is on the 1st of May, we'll be hosting our Retiree Appreciation Day. That's for all veterans, all wars, all services here at Fort Hamilton. It'll be free access to the post in conjunction with the Retiree Appreciation Fair, which is where the VA and the Department of War will provide information on any new benefits. We'll be hosting a health fair with a bunch of vendors, a bunch of free testing, and a bunch of additional information, again, all for our retirees. So thank you for your support.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to acknowledge Richie Barsamian from Assembly Member Alec Brooke-Cradish's office. Hello, Richie. Also with us tonight, Nancy Roden from Council Member David Carr's office. And with us tonight, we have Police Officer Mina Gandor, the Community Affairs officer from the 68th Precinct. Welcome. Okay, that's going to do it for our public session. For public hearings, I'd like to invite up Chris Ellison.
Good evening. Just to let you know, the Police and Public Safety Committee meeting was held on April 16, 2026. The meeting was a hybrid meeting in person at Community Board 10 District Office and on Zoom. We met in quorum, but not in an in-person quorum, and the agenda was as follows. Review of a class change application to liquor, wine, beer, and cider license at Sabor de Colombia 2 Restaurant and Bakery located at 7026 3rd Avenue. Review of SLA application number Nancy Apple 037025 137527 In response to community complaints, temporary liquor, wine, beer, cider license granted for 66 KTV Incorporated, 911 66th Street, while permanent application is under review by SLA. NYPD representatives have been invited to attend, discuss safety concerns along the R line. Committee members will review the current CB10 liquor license questionnaire and is required to complete by all SLA applicants as part of their submission prior to their presentation to the committee to see if any change were needed. First item, review of class change application to liquor, wine, beer, and cider for Sabor de Colombia 2 Restaurant and Bakery Corp. located at 7026 3rd Avenue. The applicant, Fernando Valencia, and his representative, Aurelera Taveras, were present via Zoom. The premise currently is a restaurant with hours of operation Monday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Music will be from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. The applicant will have background music and may have live music or DJ only for special occasions such as birthdays and anniversaries. The applicant requests to change its hours to Monday to Sunday, 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. And, 7 a.m. to 12 a.m., it's a typo. And a change from wine, beer, and cider to liquor, wine, beer, and cider. The premise does have 42 seats with 11 tables and 1 bar, no seats at the bar. The applicant was approved by Community Board 10 Police and Public Safety Committee for wine, beer, and cider on November 13, 2024, and by Community Board 10 Board on November 18, 2024. There have been no adverse history at this location since its opening last spring. After a discussion period, the committee's recommendation motions deny the applicant unless they agree to the following stipulation. And it's basically the same stipulation that was done in November, except for the hours of operation will be Monday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 12 a.m., and music 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. There'll be no smoking. Okay. So with that, it's the standard stipulation. I just need a second on the motion.
Danielle, okay.
Danielle, I'm sorry. So any discussion? No discussion. That being said, let's call. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Any recusals? Motion passes. Next item. It's a review of SLA application number Nancy Apple 037025137527 in response to community complaints, temporary liquor, wine, beer, cider license granted for 66 KTV Incorporated, 911 66th Street, while permanent application is under review by SLA. 66 KTV opened on January 31st, 2026, and since their opening, Community Board 10 received several complaints from area residents. On March 31st, several residents called Community Board 10 office to ask for assistance, raising concerns about the late night, early morning patrons disturbances in Leif Erikson Park from disorderly patrons of KTV. Neighbors also complained of loud music, bass, that carries through residents' blocks of Fort Hamilton Parkway and 67th Street. One email that was sent to the Community Board 10 office prior to the Police and Public Safety Committee meeting, which read as follows: subject, KTV quality of life issues, 911 66th Street. On behalf of many area residents on 67th Street, across from the new karaoke KTV business at 911 66th Street, we would like to share with the members of the Community Board 10 that we have experienced late night and early morning disturbances from midnight to 5 a.m. from the club. The pounding bass music, large groups yelling, fighting, and intoxication is a concern. We are worried about our safety and appreciate your help. The 068 Precinct Community Affairs Police Officer Gandor was present at Community Board 10 office. On April 4th, 2026, the 68 Precinct did a business inspection due to several complaints. There were 12 arrests and 3 criminal court cease summons also issued as a result of that inspection. The owner, Li Hua Li, was also present at the meeting, along with 3 security personnel. He advised us that he was approved by the SLA for a temporary license to a full license, yet SLA website still has it as temporary. In the report by the Police and Public Safety Committee on September 10, 2025, and presented to Community Board 10 on September 15, 2025, the committee voted to deny the applicant unless they agreed to the following stipulation that was outlined below. An excerpt from the report presented to Community Board 10 Board on September 15th. And I'm going to read what we did then. The applicant, Lee Kwan Lee, is the owner and was present on Zoom along with Representative Ali Anna from ABC Licensing Office of Sand Park. The premise will operate as a karaoke bar. The premise used to be Chasing Tails, a pet groomer. The building is currently undergoing complete renovation. The hours of operation were listed as Monday through Sunday, 5 p.m. to 4 a.m. The applicant supplied schematics and stated that currently have permits for construction. The applicant listed the maximum number of occupants they currently have. The applicant supplied schematics and stated currently, and they have permits. The applicant listed the maximum number of occupants as 380, which will include customers and employees, with 30 to 38 tables and one stand-up bar with no seats. Currently, there is no certificate of occupancy. There will be 22 rooms with 11 rooms on each floor of this two-story building. The premise will only have recorded karaoke music, with each room being soundproofed. The applicant will host private parties such as birthdays and anniversaries. Concerns at the meeting were egress with 3 exits on the first floor and the second floor having 2 stairwells leading to the exits. The building will have a sprinkler system for fire suppression. Security will be provided through several cameras and licensed security guards. Each room will be visible from the outside, and cameras will be installed in each room. Another concern of the community was about the hours of operation, 5 p.m. to 4 a.m. The applicant agreed to close at 2 a.m. on Sunday through Thursday. And after a discussion period, the applicant's motion was to deny the applicant unless they agreed to the following stipulation. It was our standard stipulation. With changes to the standard was the hours of operation will be Sunday through Thursday, 5 p.m. to 2 a.m., Friday and Saturday, 5 p.m. to 4 a.m. And there will be at least 2 licensed security guards that are to be used at all hours of operation. The applicant agreed, and the motion passed unanimously in favor. The NYPD has also been in contact with the State Liquor Authority and the Mayor's Office of Nightlife for follow-up on the complaints. There will also be meetings to follow up on the complaints at the end of the month with the NYPD and Mayor's Office of Nightlife. The new NYPD and Mayor's Office of Nightlife policy is known as CURE, Coordination, a United Resolution with Establishments. Officer Gandor advised us that this is an ongoing process with KTV. The establishment has 3 security guards every night. They also monitor outside and patrol the corridors of the establishment, monitor cameras inside. They will utilize the security guards upstairs, one downstairs, and the third patrols the corridors and outside. Since opening, the busiest that the security personnel have seen were about 250 to 300 people. A motion was made to have the State Liquor Authority review 66 KTV located at 911 66th Street, Brooklyn, New York, application number NA037025137-527 for the following reasons. Community Board 10 office received several complaints about noise and several 311 complaints. On April 4th, the 6A precinct did a business inspection, which resulted in 12 arrests and 3 criminal court cease summonses issued. The establishment has only been open since January 31st, 2026, and since opening has received multiple complaints for loud music and intoxication. The motion was taken, and it was passed unanimously. So I need a second, and then we can discuss. Barbara seconds? Okay, now we can. Yes.
Since our meeting, is it true that there were 20 more arrests this weekend?
That is the rumor I heard. Officer Gandor, can you speak on that?
Yes, I want to confirm that we had another operation on Saturday the 18th, and it resulted in 20 arrests at that location.
Are we still going ahead with the cure?
Yeah, this will be added to it, so it will be updated as we go. So it's a place that, as you said, there's numerous complaints, and we'll keep going back until this I guess, situation is resolved.
Okay. Barbara?
One second. When this came up for review originally, the board was very reluctant to karaoke bars, let alone one that can hold over 300 people. Mm-hmm. And they have a security guard on each floor and one that roams. Although they claim that there's nobody outside, there's nobody drunk. I mean, I worked in a school with security, and that's not enough. You would think that a business that is only in operation 4 months would be on their best behavior. And obviously, it is not acting as a good citizen. With that in mind, although the officer could not speak about the nature of the arrests, I asked the owners, the security officers, what were the nature of the arrests, and she pointed to the owner. He wasn't there. He didn't know. His manager was there. He only had a first name for the manager. So, I just think that they are not working to secure the facility. So if you can explain to me and to the board, what we're voting on, because he said he had his permanent license, and you're saying it's still pending. If it's still pending, can we just say, no, thank you?
I could change the motion to say, instead of motion to be made to have the SLA review and deny. Oh,
Yes.
you did? It's permanent?
Yes, just so you know, they will license on April 9th.
Okay. So now they do have a license. Any other questions? For Ralph?
1 second.
Did I hear you say that they have no certificate of occupancy and there's 350 people?
That was
How
originally
is
when they
that
were under
legal?
construction, right?
Now they do have it?
I believe they do. I haven't looked.
Do they have a place of assembly permit?
They were filing for a place of assembly on the date that they submitted their applications to us.
Okay, so they may not have that permit right now, right? So how could they operate legally?
I'm not positive if they do or they don't. Okay. Hold on. Hold on.
Board member discussion?
It's just board members right now, sorry.
Any other board?
And you don't get to vote. Frank?
Frank.
Well, the process is with the State Liquor Authority can revoke their license, right?
What steps do we have to take to get it done?
Well, it's a process right now. Well, they're open 3 months and there are 32 arrests already. Elizabeth?
I don't know if it would be possible, but maybe it's an option for the nuisance abatement law if it's an ongoing. It's already done. Oh, sorry.
Who was that? Who's pointing to? Oh, the nuisance. Is this applicable for the nuisance abatement? We talked a little bit about it at the meeting. Nuisance abatement.
Yeah, so yeah, we're not there yet, but it's definitely on the table. The CO, when we spoke, it's something that's on the table. It's very complicated. It's not an easy thing, so we're taking it one step at a time. So the operations that we did so far, the 2, and we're keeping an eye out. And we have the cure program. We're gonna follow up with the SLA. We'll do everything we can to resolve this problem. If it ends up in nuisance and abatement, then this is what we're going to do. And I know the community board is also working on it, so it's coming from all directions because of all the complaints that we're getting and how much it's affecting the neighbors.
Hey, Barbara?
Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find a way. Is there any way that we can deny the application pending the outcome of the investigations?
It's no longer an application.
April 9th.
We're a week short. Carmen?
I think 9 years on the board, I don't think I've heard of a worse case than this.
Mm-hmm.
I think in total, they probably beat all the 9 years combined. Is there any police presence outside on the weekends there to protect, at least to protect the citizens?
Well, they did the business inspection in the beginning of April, and they went back this weekend again. All right, and they effected 20 more arrests. So on their first business inspection, they effected 12 arrests. They didn't elaborate, the officer.
Hopefully they can continue to keep going back. Well, I hope
Hopefully they have the manpower. All right. So the motion was made to have the State Liquor Authority review 66K TV located at 911 66th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 11209. The applicant with the number. The following reasons: Community Board 10 office received several complaints about noise and several 311 complaints. On April 4th, the 6th precinct did a business inspection, which resulted in 12 arrests and 3 criminal court cease summonses issued. The establishment has only been open since January 31st, 2026, and since opening has received multiple complaints for loud music and intoxicated patrons.
Can you add the 20 arrests? Thank you.
What date was that on Saturday? Okay.
So it was Saturday night into Sunday, but it was technically Sunday morning, so April 19th.
So we could also add, on April 4th, the 6th precinct did a business inspection, resulted in 12 arrests and 3 criminal court cease summonses issued. And on April 19th, the 6th precinct effected 20 additional arrests. Any more discussion? Steve?
Wait. Wait for the microphone.
I'm sorry.
Saying 20 arrests is not as good as listing the 20 arrests.
You mean the actual
I
arrests,
think
what they were?
Exactly correct, because I think that it just kind of, especially if you're in the office and just reading it, it doesn't seem quite as important. Okay, like, it's only 20 arrests.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they were assaults, drugs, or what they were related to.
But that's my point. Let's put them in.
Can you elaborate on the arrest?
No.
That's where I'm stuck. I mean, I'm sure it's public knowledge what the arrests were for. All right. Thank you, Steve. So, all those in favor? Yep. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Any recusals? Motion passes. That's it for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. We'll see you later. Okay, again, welcome to tonight's meeting, everybody. Spring is here. I promise you it's here. The weather outside today didn't give us that feeling, but it's here. For all those celebrating, we had Passover and Easter this month, so happy holidays. Time has come to put together a nominating committee. So tonight, the nominating committee is as follows. Chairperson, Ruth Greenfield Mazer. And committee members, Liz Lovejoy, Doris Cruz, Tracy Britton, and Barbara Germack. They will start the process of putting together the slate for next year. Again, welcome. And next on the agenda will be the district manager's report from Josephine Beckman.
Thank you, Sandy. Good evening, board members. Happy April. So this month, the district office was pretty busy. We received many inquiries regarding containerization and the return of enforcement for those who are not composting. So the suspension of enforcement and the harsh winter, we had a lot of people become lax with composting. So we're here to remind everyone that they have to put their composting out. If not, you're subject to enforcement. The district office has composting receptacle stickers. We even ordered some additional ones because we had a flurry in of people asking for them. As a reminder, starting in June of 2026, in 1 to 9 unit buildings, you will all be required to use the official New York City bin for your trash set out. DSNY continues to have virtual information sessions for anyone interested, so if you know anyone who has any questions, please spread the word. They're on the DSNY website. As we enter the spring and summer seasons, the district office begins its review of street activity permit applications for block parties. Block parties are community-sponsored public events where there are no sale of goods or services. Applications are made online, and applicants must be a member of a block association and give permission by their neighbors to apply. And rain dates are not permitted. It's a nice time of year where we get to meet people from throughout the district interested in having these celebrations on their block. So if you know anyone is interested, please let us know and send them our way. The Traffic and Transportation Committee reviewed plans for changes to outdoor dining and expansion of types of businesses that can apply and return to year-round outdoor roadway dining through City Council legislation. We put together a survey for participants in the program and businesses district-wide, and we'll seek help of our local merchants to get feedback on the proposed changes. The surveys will be emailed and shared on our social media and e-newsletter. So if you see this and know any businesses who want to participate, please let them know. A few months ago, the district office mailed letters with a neighborhood valet parking card created by the Traffic and Transportation Committee as friendly reminders to businesses that utilize valet companies to be good neighbors and not to block crosswalks, park cars in bus stops, fire hydrants, or in no standing zones, or to use cones to block street parking. We really are encouraging all of our businesses to be good neighbors and hope that they receive that favorably. The Fifth Avenue bid will provide a presentation on new installation of new corner city bins. If you've been out on Fifth Avenue, you'll notice that all of the green bins are no longer there, and they've been replaced with these really cool corner city bins. This change is in response to the expansion of containerization rules for bids citywide by DSNY. The meeting is this week, Thursday, April 23rd, our environmental committee, hosted by Tracy Britton here. And so if you're interested in this topic, please make sure to tune in or watch us afterward on YouTube. There will also be a presentation from the Office of Emergency Management about flood season preparedness at the same meeting on Thursday. I was happy this month to assist the middle school 407 teacher Cindy Sconamillo, who successfully applied and was granted funding to create a student-led pollinator garden in J.J. Carty Park, right outside here. It's really cool. I think so, yes, deserves. So CB10 has advocated for increases in pollinator gardens throughout the district. The students have been working really hard on this project and will be celebrating their hard work with a ribbon cutting ceremony on Wednesday, this Wednesday, April 22nd at noon. And everyone's invited if you're around and like to come. It sounds pretty cool. The students are really proud, and pollinator gardens, again, is a top capital priority request in the Community Board 10 area, and we're very happy about this addition. And we'd like to congratulate teacher Cindy Sconamillo for applying for this. I want to share some upcoming events. The Eleanor Shiano Memorial 3rd Avenue Spring Cleanup will take place on Saturday, April 25th, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We have flyers and information. Eleanor Shiano served as a member and officer of Community Board 10, and our very own Shirley Chin is organizing the cleanup. And where is the start for that? Where does everyone meet in the morning? By Citizens Bank parking lot. So we encourage everyone, if they're around and like to participate in the cleanup, to sign up and join. Kiso's Pet Pantry asked us to announce that they will be assisting senior centers with a collection of pet supplies, sponsored by Good Shepherd Lutheran Church. Their event will take place on Saturday, April 25th at 7420 4th Avenue at 9 a.m. There's a great deal of National Grid and Spectrum work district-wide. There are many, many locations, too many to announce tonight, but they are on our website. You may see a lot of construction around, and also in our e-newsletter. Upcoming Community Board 10 meetings through this month, before our next meeting, were sent to Community Board 10 members. I want to make sure you take a look at the list. There will be CPR training by fire department reps from 6:30 to 7:30 on Tuesday, May 12th. So if you ever wanted to learn CPR, it's a good time to do that. Please join us. And we're going to hear tonight from Zoning and Land Use Committee Chair Stephanie Simone Mahaney regarding a ULURP application for the current Staples site, 9305 Fifth Avenue. The link to the ZAP portal, which is provided by City Planning, makes it very easy to view documents and public documents all on this application. So as we prepare for the public hearing next month, I encourage board members to both visit the YouTube for meetings, as well as some of the public documents that will be discussed at the meeting. And the Viking Fest, which is another exciting time of year, will take place on May 9th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the Norwegian Day Parade follows thereafter on Sunday, May 17th at 1:30. The parade kickoff will be at 80th Street and 3rd Avenue, and it continues on to the reviewing stand at 67th Street between 6th and 7th Avenues. Our next Community Board 10 meeting will take place on Monday, May 18th, 7 p.m. at the Bay Ridge Center, 15 Bay Ridge Avenue. Thank you very much. Respectfully submitted. Oh, Pierre?
What are we supposed to do with our old garbage cans?
Richard, I'll defer to you. You mentioned something good about them, right? They could be reused? Wait. Oh, Dorothy's going to... Richard is our DSNY expert.
Hiya. So if it's regular recycling, you can set it out as regular recycling. You would want to like turn it upside down. If you can, write a note on it, just say it's recycling, but otherwise, yeah, you would, yeah.
Thank you, Josephine. Next up to give her report will be Shirley Chin, our treasurer.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So, Community Board 10 Treasurer's Report as of March 31st, 2024. Total personal services, we have $216,795.33. Total other than personal services, we have $6,807, leaving an encumbered budget balance of $74,157.67. Thank you.
Thank you, Shirley. Our first committee to report tonight will be the Traffic and Transportation Committee. I'd like to invite up J. Marie Kaptanakis.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. On Monday, April 13th, the Traffic and Transportation Committee met in virtual quorum to discuss 3 agenda items. Our first item was an informational overview of the Interborough Express, or IBX, transit project in Brooklyn and Queens that you heard about earlier this evening, including its planning, environmental review, design, community impact, and upcoming public outreach. This project is in its preliminary design phase. So once again, the project overview, the IBX is a 14-mile light rail project that will connect Brooklyn in Bay Ridge Sunset Park and Queens in Jackson Heights along an existing freight rail corridor, adding passenger service while preserving freight operations. It includes 18 stations with 13 offering subway transfers and links to over 50 bus routes and LIRR connections. Community impact and access to opportunity improvements. Within CB10, IBX will introduce 3 stops at 4th Avenue and 69th Street, 8th Avenue, and New Utrecht Avenue. The exact station locations are subject to change. IBX more than doubles the land area accessible within a 30-minute public transit trip. The intention is that IBX will therefore significantly expand access to jobs, healthcare, education, and cultural institutions in CB10 and for CB10, benefiting residents and businesses. Residents gain access to employment hubs, amenities, and recreation. Businesses reach larger customer bases and talent pools for job opportunities. Regarding design and environment, the project is in a 2-year design process involving environmental reviews and due diligence, involving surveys, geotechnical work, environmental and structural inspections. There are civil design stage involving the site work, utilities, structures, and track work. And finally, system design, including the stations, operations, facility, storage yard, and powertrain controls and communications. The environmental review process began in October 2025 under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act. Environmental analyses are now underway. A final scoping document will be issued this year with the draft environmental impact statement to follow. The MTA emphasized that they aim to minimize property acquisition and acknowledge that some properties may be impacted. Community focus areas include stormwater management and electrical grid capacity. They will be conducting public outreach and have scheduled meetings. Committee members raised significant concerns regarding the 4th Avenue station, citing it as a dangerous intersection, as well as general issues regarding traffic, pedestrian safety, bicycle safety, and the impact of the existing freight corridor. After our meeting, we were sent the flyers about the upcoming in-person interactive public workshops. However, of the 6 upcoming meetings in April and May, none are within Community Board 10. 3 meetings will be held in Queens and 3 in Brooklyn. In Brooklyn, there will be a meeting on May 7th at PS 235, located at 5811 Ditmas Avenue. Another workshop on May 13th at Maimonides Medical Center at 4802 10th Avenue. And May 30th at the East New York Arts and Civic High School, located at 800 Van Sicklen Avenue. However, they have also created survey flyers, and you can also share your input using a QR code. The links to the survey, meeting information, and any other further updates will be shared in the CB10 newsletter, and it's already in the one that we received today. So please check that for more information. The second item we reviewed was a legislative proposal from Assemblyman William Colton. New York Assembly Bill A-2010A would require that the New York City Transit Authority notify residents, borough presidents, city council members, state senators, state assembly members, and community board district managers 30 days in advance of any significant or general changes of service to rapid transit or subways or omnibus line facilities. Currently, only the mayor is required to receive 30 days' notice. This bill was introduced and sponsored by Assemblyman Colton, who is requesting the board write a letter in support. Our committee discussed with the Assemblyman that this bill intends to increase public outreach and community input regarding major transit service changes, emphasizing the importance of local knowledge and planning. We had a motion to vote to send the letter of support from CB10 for this bill. All were in favor. However, we did not have a quorum in person, so we would need a second from the floor to sending this letter. Okay, we have Tracy. Are there any questions or discussion? Seeing none, we are ready to vote on the committee's motion in favor of sending this letter. All in favor? Thank you. I believe that was all. Were there any opposed? I did not see any. Any abstentions or recusals? Seeing none, thank you. This passes. Our last item was regarding outdoor dining legislation, as Josephine had mentioned just a few moments ago. The committee reviewed New York City Council Intro number 1421, introduced by Councilman Lincoln Ressler, who is from District 33 in northern Brooklyn, and this is currently in committee. This bill would expand the city's outdoor dining program by allowing grocery stores to apply for a sidewalk cafe license, removing seasonal restrictions on roadway cafe operation, and providing the option to expand the frontage for certain cafes upon consent. This bill would also streamline the review process for restaurants applying to operate a sidewalk or roadway cafe. This bill would allow for retail food establishments to apply for sidewalk cafe licenses, remove the restrictions preventing roadway cafes from operating year-round, allow for establishments with less than 20 feet of frontage to expand their roadway cafe to the roadway in front of an abutting property, subject to the consent of the commissioner and property owners, and streamline the review process. As part of the streamlining process, the intro specifically states that the community board shall not require applicants to supply the board with additional written materials other than the initial petition and any modification to the petition. The committee discussed that CB10 will be soliciting feedback to the proposal using 2 surveys that Josephine mentioned earlier. One is specifically for restaurants, and one is for residents. The proposed survey for restaurants will ask if restaurants participated in the temporary program during COVID, and if they would or would not participate in a year-round roadway dining or enclosed sidewalk dining program. Questions included: would you apply under the new expanded rules? Why or why not? Would you apply for year-round sidewalk if it included a sidewalk enclosure? It asks restaurant owners to share other improvements they would like to see. The proposed survey for residents will ask if they prefer restaurants with outdoor dining, if they would support the return of year-round roadway dining, and if they believe outdoor dining could be improved. At this time, we are only gathering information. There is no vote, and we want to be prepared with a thoughtful response that includes input from our residents and our businesses. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jane Marie. Our next committee to report will be from the Zoning and Land Use Committee, Stephanie Simone Mahaney.
Thank you, everyone. Okay. It's another considerable zoning application. Okay, one moment. Right. Okay. The Zoning and Land Use Committee met on Wednesday, April 15th in a hybrid format with a virtual quorum only. The committee received a presentation from the applicant, 9305 Fifth Avenue, LLC, regarding a proposed rezoning and redevelopment of the property at 9305 Fifth Avenue, currently occupied by a Staples and surface parking lot. Representatives of the applicant team, including land use counsel and development consultants, were present. And this was a presentation and discussion only, no vote was taken. All right, the applicant seeks to rezone the site from an R6B C23 to R7X C24 with the application of mandatory inclusionary housing. The proposal includes an approximately 11-story mixed-use building with up to 292 residential units, including approximately 80 to 88 permanently affordable units, approximately 30,000 square feet of retail space, which may include a supermarket, community facility space such as a daycare, and structured parking within the building. We don't have visuals this evening, but to give you an idea, the proposed development would rise to approximately 110 feet and 11 stories on a site with about 300 feet of frontage along Fifth Avenue and extending roughly 130 feet back from the avenue. I'd like to clarify that this zoning, if approved, the R76 would permit a building of 145 feet. In this, which would be roughly 14 stories. So in this case, the developer had an original plan for 14 stories and decreased it to 11, but in so doing, expanded essentially the width. Okay. Under current R6B zoning, the site could be developed with a mid-rise residential building of approximately 4 to 5 stories with roughly 100 dwelling units without any requirement for affordable housing. That would be the as-of-right development. Recent changes under the City of Yes for Housing Opportunity allow additional floor area in R6 and similar districts when permanently affordable housing is provided, generally increasing density by approximately 20% without a rezoning. As a result, the range of development that could occur as of right is broader than under prior zoning conditions, though still substantially less than what is proposed here. Environmental review for the project is being conducted under the city's Green Fast Track process. The proposal is evaluated against an as-of-right baseline rather than existing site conditions, which in this case reflects approximately 100 units. Because the increase is under 250 units, the project qualifies for streamlined review and does not require a full environmental impact statement. I'd like to be clear about that. The threshold for this fast track is you cannot build any more than 250 units. I just told you that this proposal is for 292 units, but it looks at the increment. The as-of-right build could be 100 units. So the additional units that could be provided are 192, below the threshold. The applicant also presented 2 unit scenarios. The formal application is based on 292 units, including approximately 88 affordable units, and that is the version being analyzed for environmental review. A revised scenario was also presented, reducing the total to approximately 252 units with about 80 affordable units. The applicant stated that this revision was developed in response to feedback with the goal of incorporating a greater proportion of family-sized apartments and reducing the overall unit count. A detailed unit mix was provided only for the revised scenario. The affordable units were described as including approximately 16 3-bedrooms, 19 2-bedroom units, 21 bedroom units, and 25 studios, with the market rate units including approximately 43 3-bedroom units, 39 2-bedroom units, 41 1-bedroom units, and 49 studios. The applicant stated that larger units are less financially efficient and that accommodating this mix is tied to the requested increase in density. Okay, the proposed parking supply exceeds the minimum zoning requirement. While approximately 75 spaces are required, the proposal includes roughly 150 or more spaces within a below-grade system. Approximately 25 spaces were identified for retail use, including a potential supermarket, with the remaining spaces, approximately 125, allocated to residential use. The parking would include a limited number of self-park spaces and a larger attended or valet-style system for residents, under which vehicles would be retrieved through an attendant. So, of course, the question is, why so big? Now, the applicant's rationale. The applicant characterized the site as underutilized and presented the proposal as an opportunity to introduce a mixed-use development that would provide housing, including a permanently affordable units and support local economic activity. The addition of new residents was presented as a way to increase foot traffic and spending along Fifth Avenue, supporting both existing businesses and new retail. The proposed retail component, including a potential supermarket, was described as a neighborhood amenity. The applicant also pointed to the site's proximity to transit and framed the project as consistent with broader citywide goals to increase housing production, particularly income-restricted housing. The development was also described as an opportunity to improve the condition of the site and surrounding block, including streetscape conditions and its relationship to nearby open space. The applicant also referenced compliance with current environmental requirements, including updated stormwater management standards. The proposal includes measures such as an on-site detention and green infrastructure intended to reduce runoff from the site. The applicant explained that an on-site detention involves holding rainwater on the property and releasing it more slowly rather than allowing it to flow directly into the sewer system. These elements were described as an environmental benefit of redevelopment. The applicant stated that elements such as family-sized units, structured parking, and community facility space are dependent on the additional density provided through the rezoning. The applicant characterized the current proposal as a reduction from an earlier 14-story concept. The committee noted, however, that the overall bulk was not reduced, but rather redistributed, as the applicant stated that the project still maxes out the allowable FAR and achieves that by extending more of the building across the site. The applicant also noted that additional height could theoretically be achieved through the acquisition of air rights from adjacent properties, but stated that this is not being pursued as part of the current proposal. The committee's concerns. These focused on both the specifics of the proposal and its broader implications. The scale and the density of the proposed development were identified as primary concerns, particularly in relation to the surrounding neighborhood and the intent of the Special Bay Ridge District. The committee noted that the proposed height and bulk are significantly greater than what exists today and what would be permitted under contextual zoning. Traffic and circulation were also major concerns. Fifth Avenue and 94th Street are already heavily utilized corridors, and questions were raised regarding the combined impact of residential density, retail use, deliveries, and potential daycare activity. The proposed attended parking system raised additional concerns regarding queuing, wait times, and operational feasibility, and further analysis was requested. Infrastructure capacity remains a significant concern, particularly with respect to sewer systems and known flooding conditions in the area. Committee members referenced prior flooding events and questioned whether the existing system can accommodate additional demand associated with the proposed development. In response, the applicant's environmental consultant indicated that the project has been reviewed in accordance with applicable SEQR and Department of Environmental Protection standards, and that no significant adverse impacts were identified under those thresholds. The discussion also highlighted the broader environmental review framework, including the use of the Green Fast Track process. While consistent with current policy, the committee noted that an increment-based analysis may not fully reflect the practical impacts of development at this scale in an already built-out neighborhood. The committee also raised concerns regarding precedent. While each application is presented as site-specific, there is concern about the cumulative effect of multiple rezonings along this corridor and the extent to which a series of individual actions may collectively result in broader neighborhood change. And you know, we just had the discussion about 9201 4th Avenue. The committee emphasized that these concerns are not based on opposition to development. Development is expected under current zoning, and the site is likely to be redeveloped. The issue is the scale, the density, and the resulting impacts of the proposed rezoning relative to what otherwise would occur. The public concerns, public testimony reflected many of the same issues raised by the committee, as well as additional concerns grounded in the public's experience. Residents cited existing traffic congestion, particularly along Fifth Avenue, and emphasized the presence of schools, school bus activity, and heavily used bus routes. Concerns were raised regarding the ability of the surrounding street network to accommodate additional traffic and the potential impact on emergency vehicle access, especially during the bridge closures. Infrastructure concerns were significant, including sewer capacity and documented flooding conditions. Residents described prior flooding events and expressed concern that additional development would exacerbate these issues. Concerns were raised regarding the overall scale of the proposal and the number of units being introduced and the resulting impact on the neighborhood character and quality of life. Several speakers referenced prior planning efforts, including the Special Bay Ridge District, and expressed concern that the proposal is inconsistent with those frameworks. At the same time, multiple speakers noted that they are not opposed to development and understand that redevelopment is likely under existing zoning, but expressed concern that the proposed scale exceeds what is appropriate for the location. So next steps. The committee will continue its review of this application at the May 7th meeting, at which time the applicant will return and is expected to answer additional questions and respond to the concerns raised. A public hearing will take place at May 18th at the general board meeting. And just as a reminder, board members, you received all application materials, including full plans, environmental documentation, and supporting analyses through a shared link. You are encouraged to review those materials in detail so that you better understand this proposal for the May meeting. Thank you very much. Respectfully submitted. Oh, Danielle has a question. Here's the picture. I mean, it's a little bit difficult to understand it out of context, but it is, it's a tremendous project. I have Danielle first, yes.
Thank you. My question goes back to, and this isn't the 92nd Street thing, but there was another building prior where it came up that once something's approved, even if they're not building to the fullest height, it's locked in.
That is correct.
So that would happen with this as well.
That is correct. So if this is approved, the R7X with the commercial, another developer, if they sold, let's say they sold it, another developer could come in, do a redesign, and instead of having, maybe a broader base, they could just go taller and skinnier, and they could go up to 14 stories. The other concern is that, as I mentioned, concerns about precedent. So if the adjacent sites or nearby sites are also rezoned for an R7X, they may have a smaller site, a smaller lot, and they could only go up, which would produce a 145-foot building. Yes. There's a question. Oh, Ann in the back. Thank you.
Stephanie, that was a great summary of that very big meeting that I was.
Thank you.
Sorry.
I was tired that night.
Oh, it was a big night, yes. Another thing that was brought up during that meeting, which I had the opportunity to sit on and be a part of, was that they kept referencing throughout their presentation that they're building this for the Bay Ridge community and the Bay Ridge families, and that is actually not the case. They cannot guarantee that for local Bay Ridgeites that they would have apartments in these buildings the way that they were expressing it, because they're saying it would keep community within the community, and that is probably not going to be the case for this. So they may say it, but they cannot guarantee that this is for Bay Ridge people.
Under fair housing, you cannot set aside. Elizabeth?
This is probably a naive question, but I'm genuinely wondering if there's demand for this, for this much housing, because I know we have the building on at the. It's escaped, the Pizzeria Uno.
Pizzeria, it's 9201.
That one, and this one as well. And I don't know. I'm just wondering if anybody has information on that.
The board actually supported a rezoning of 9114 Fifth Avenue to an R7A some time ago, and it hasn't been constructed yet. So rezoning, there was a while back. So I think there needs to be a look at that. I mean, it is driven by market, but the area, again, is specific to this one lot. But certainly there are more soft sites in the area that hasn't been looked at comprehensively.
And I did ask very directly of the developer if he expected to be able to rent out all of these units, the market rate ones. And just to add to that, he did confirm that the market rate rents would, of course, be subsidizing the income restricted units. So just keep that in mind. Steve, you had a question up here, Stephen.
What are the rent prices for the affordable apartments?
Yeah, that's
I know that
great
fluctuates
question.
a lot.
It's a great question, and we did not get a firm answer. He did, did not. I'm sorry. Make you work.
Just a quick question. Can you clarify what the height restriction is under the current zoning, under R6?
R6. Oh, I don't remember. Was it so? Do you? I didn't bring my cheat sheet. Much lower than the proposed. Six stories.
Yeah, I didn't need it to the foot. I was just curious approximately what it is.
Oh, I thought it was, okay, 5 stories. Okay, well, we can come back to it. Go ahead.
So I know this is an informational report, but just for our future discussions, I just want to quickly respond with the demand and the comment earlier about, the people from the community staying here. I just, as someone who is, from the younger generation, I can just say I'm one of the only people I grew up with who has managed to stay in Bay Ridge. I mean, all of my friends have been priced out, have moved to Staten Island, or are moving to Jersey. So, I mean, I think we can debate whether this specific project is right, but I do think we have a desperate need for more housing here to keep people who grew up here in the community.
I think I just want to respond back to that issue keeps coming up, but there is no guarantee that those people will gain housing. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
affordable.
we can never guarantee that,
Yeah,
but,
and there could be displacement of other folks. So some will be forced to leave. But I just wanted to make it clear that the developers, that is their tack to say that people want to stay in Bay Ridge. But it cannot be guaranteed.
Of course not.
Okay.
It will help.
Understood. It was Carmen and then Barbara. Can we go to Barbara first? Sure, so you don't have to walk as much? Absolutely.
Several of the folks who participated mentioned issues regarding to flooding. How did the sponsors deal with this issue?
They said they are mandated, I guess by environmental rules, that they have to do stormwater collection and then on-site retention of water. That all of their new, I guess, technology allows for stormwater mitigation, and they are maintaining that their project will improve the current site. I know they have all complained about flooding, and I understand why the residents are very hesitant to.
Just for Staley's question, so the R6B, which is currently zoned, is a maximum FAR of 2.4 with a maximum height of 65 feet. For the R6X, the maximum FAR is 6.0 with a maximum height of 145 feet. R7X, did I say that? Oh, I'm sorry, R7X, yes.
Considerable difference between the FARs, certainly. Carmen?
Well, this is a little bit on the same level, but a little different. Everybody keeps asking me what's happening with the Century 21 site. I don't know if any permits have been put in or what's happening with that land. It's just sitting, seems like it's dormant right now. So I don't know if you know anything about that.
I do.
So certainly there were demolition sites, and the proposal that was placed in the press is that they're planning a two-story commercial development process on the 86th Street side, and on the 87th Street where the home store was, it's going to be a supermarket. That's super fresh. Yeah, super fresh. It's going to be a supermarket.
Thank you. Any other questions? Oh, okay. We'll go.
That's not so much a question. I took a walk over there after our meeting to look around, and there's another empty lot on 92nd and 5th, which Josephine said is going to be a charging station.
Oh, yeah.
But what are the odds that that's going to stay a charging station if they see if they could also put up a huge building? I'm just bringing that up.
No, I agree. Again, we're concerned about precedent.
I was going to ask one question about when we're talking about community, because would this be a lottery situation? Because there are some times when the lotteries keep people in the community.
For the income restricted, would it?
There's going to be an application process. And then isn't an application, and isn't it usually given, like there's a certain percentage as preference for the current zip code, or no?
I thought that was against the.
They don't do that anymore. Okay.
Fair housing.
Okay. And then the other thing I was going to say is, having lived in Carroll Gardens years ago, there definitely was storage and overflow and flooding issues when they started developing more property along the Gowanus, and all the assurances were nothing will happen. And people who lived on that block for their entire lives, for generations, were like, we've never had flooding like this. So it is a serious issue. I mean, it may not be that one building, but it's the accumulation of things.
Right.
So.
Although he said there's a 2022 law that forces them to put in these containers to store the flood waters and release it slowly.
The stormwater, right?
Stormwater.
Stormwater, yeah.
Just stormwater.
But
But
not
that's what everybody's
sewerage.
complaining about.
They-
Right, but
the Sen-
everybody's complaining about the storm runoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. Ruth?
I'm just interested in knowing, do we have any choice in this? I mean, we're spending all this time discussing it, and we're going to vote whether or not to approve it. And I'm just wondering.
We're still working on it. The
Yeah,
next meeting
I-
is May 7th. I'd like to think we have.
I mean, we're going from 6 to 11, and we've seen this happen along the 4th Avenue corridor in Sunset Park. It's all changed, and it looks like that's going to happen here in our neighborhood as well. So are we just going through all these motions and we don't have choice, or will
I hope
our
not.
vote be significant?
We are always advisory, and certainly going forward, it's gotten more complicated based on the November ballot proposals. New Yorkers voted to basically reduce the council members' vote or power of the vote, so that a lot of decisions go straight to the mayor and the borough president in city planning. There was a third one. So there are a lot of policy changes that are working in concert to challenge us. So we will do what we can, and we will continue the discussion. We have another meeting with the developers on May 7th. I invite you all to attend. You don't have to be on the committee, but your voices could be heard. And then we'll have the public hearing.
And how much of this is the city of Yes for
The
housing?
upzoning, the increase in FAR, is there anything else aside? It's just the increase they are due to the city of Yes. I mean, yes. So under current zoning, it would be 2.4, but with the 7X, it was 5. Now it's a FAR of 6. So there are incremental increases with every new policy, and again, they are acting in concert, and that was always a concern that I did express during the city of Yes period, that it's a cumulative effect in many ways, not only just in the building sites, but in the neighborhood as each site gets developed. We'll go this way. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to also mention that I believe it was in 2023 and also in 2025 in the Brooklyn Comprehensive Plan that is put out by the Brooklyn Borough President's Office, and I had been chair at that time and had been involved with receiving that and reviewing that. Community Board 10 was specifically mentioned as having a need for more affordable housing. And this had been cited in that report specifically for our area. So I feel like this has been something that's coming along, and perhaps with City of Yes, it may have, added some steam to this, but this was something that had been mentioned specifically for CB10 several years ago. So I know that at the time it seemed very far away and very like, oh, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, who knows what this will be. But this is really where we can connect the dots. And so I think that taking this thoughtful stance of getting all of our information, having a committee report and a committee involvement is really our best opportunity to be able to give a thoughtful response to all of these different measures that come up to us. So thank you. And thank you, Stephanie, for your work on this committee. You've really had such a heavy load for our community board, and you've done such a great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Steve?
Hi, Steph. I just want to go back to the street cafes. I mean, that was part of this, if I'm not wrong. Is that correct?
No, that was her.
Oh, that was over there. It was so long ago.
Okay.
Forget it.
Okay. Anne's been waiting. Sorry to make you walk, but wait for the microphone, please.
I am not against the zoning for housing and where the Staples lot is. It's the massiveness of it, that it's going up 11 stories, and bringing in all of that. Do you know what that means in terms of people in that one square, in that one area? Close to, if not over 1,000 in that footprint, in that choke point with the sewer system. It's going to be overwhelming. If they keep it within the current zoning, it's possible. I would support that, but not going to the height and the extent that it's looking to go.
So I just want to reiterate, there was no objection to development. I know we have a need for housing. It shouldn't be a zero-sum game. It shouldn't be, well, you have this huge, massive development or nothing. I mean, that's not the way the community is looking at it. The concerns here have to do with the bulk, the mass, the strains on the current infrastructure. Danielle, and then we probably need to move on. I'd rather you ask questions now and are better prepared later.
Yeah. I've heard this too about Bay Ridge, about we need housing here, and I've been involved in housing advocacy. But I think sometimes when people generalize Bay Ridge, first of all, they say it's very white, but Arabic, with which I'm part Arabic, does not get counted as anything but white. So I think that's a little skewed understanding of it, and why a neighborhood should be picked out for any reasons anyway, besides the housing needs, is curious to me. But also, I think it really gets undercounted, and I don't know that an actual count, I'm sure somewhere it does, but we have a lot of bigger buildings in this neighborhood already. We have a lot of rent-stabilized units, more so than other neighborhoods I've lived in Brooklyn, and I'm just curious how it does actually when you're saying about being prepared and having facts. How does Bay Ridge compare to Carroll Gardens, where I saw a loss of housing, actually? They're building something big now, but there was a lot of units that went from being 4-family houses to single-family houses. So there's a lot of loss in those neighborhoods, whereas here there's rent-stabilized large buildings that aren't rent-stabilized. There's a mix.
We're also curious about how the city is counting.
Yeah,
and
it's
what
not just all single-family houses.
The definition of affordable is.
And a lot of those single-family housing has families in it, multi-generational as well. So, yeah, that would be good. That would be good data, I think, to have.
The data that in this metric is a 5-year look. It's not a 20-year look, it's a 5-year look. And when city planning came and spoke to the board during the ballot proposals, there was a lot of discussion about that in terms of development and the built condition, and differences amongst community districts. We have 59 community districts in the city of New York. They're all very different. They all have their own characters, all have their own different built conditions. They all have, sewer constraints. We have the Owl's Head treatment facility that treats the water of 5 community districts. So it's not only development here, it was built in the 1950s. So you're right, and we should have that data for this discussion, and we'll put that together.
So the look back, or the 5-year look back for the number of affordable units, the city is looking to see which communities have not produced enough, but that look doesn't start until October, which is why I didn't mention it in conjunction with this particular project. But that is part of the ballot proposals in November for which New Yorkers voted. Okay, thank you all very much for your time.
Thank you, Stephanie, for that report. You always get the easy ones. Okay, next committee to report will be the Police and Public Safety. We're going to welcome back Chris Ellison.
So, the NYPD representatives have been invited to attend to discuss safety concerns along the R line. Present on Zoom was Deputy Inspector Janine King, Commanding Officer of Transit District 34. In the confines of the 6A precinct, District 34 covers Bay Ridge Avenue to 95th Street. The district itself covers several precincts as well as 51 stations. The district concentrates on quality of life issues, and in the evenings, they do have directed patrols at 95th Street Station. On the first platoon, which is around 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., the district utilizes 6 wire teams, which are mainly responses from complaints coming from Transit Authority employees. There have been several complaints of swipers holding the gate open and charging riders to enter as they are addressing those issues. Homeless complaints have been reduced, and they are aware of the conditions within the system and are addressing them. Concerns by board members were safety of students, children using the system going to and from school, concerns about mentally ill passengers on the subway. Deputy Inspector King explained that ridership has increased and therefore complaints and incidents will increase. Index crimes are a small margin of incidents within the system and within the 6A precinct. There have been a decrease in index crimes. The district does address school conditions and homeless conditions within the system. At 36th Street Station, between the hours of 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., there is a team of officers that inspect every train coming into the district's areas for homeless, outstretched, and sleeping passengers. The department, in conjunction with the governor's office, had an officer on every train at night, which was instituted last year, which has reduced the quality of life issues on the trains, such as outstretched individuals. The program ended in June. The NYP also uses the end-of-the-line program to offer mental health to people that are in crisis or are homeless, usually done at Stillwell Avenue. The committee would like to thank Deputy Inspector King for coming to the meeting. That's about it. The other issue was the committee members will review the current Community Board 10 liquor license questionnaire that is required to be completed by all SA applicants as part of their submission prior to their presentation to the committee to see if any changes are needed. In a review, the committee felt only to remove the portion of cabaret licensing, since there is no more cabaret licensing. Meeting ended about 8:10. Respectfully submitted.
Thank you, Chris. Next committee to report will be the Budget and Personnel Committee, and we're going to invite back Jane Marie Kaptanakis.
All right, thank you so much. The Budget and Personnel Committee met in quorum on April 8th to discuss unspent funds remaining in Community Board 10 fiscal year 2026 OTPS, which is other than personal services budget. The total amount unspent was $5,889. Plans for funds were voted upon and included professional planner to assist the Zoning and Land Use Committee with the ULURP applications, $2,500. Laptop for the district manager with software, $1,500. New zoning handbooks, $250. Refreshments at the June board meeting, $727, and postage at $912. However, after contacting vendors, costs changed, just like when we shop. The new laptop was more expensive, and the refreshments came in a little less than the initial estimate, so the numbers changed slightly. Once again, to review, the professional planner to assist the zoning and land use with the ULURP applications remains $2,500. The laptop has increased to $1,845. The new zoning handbooks remain at $250. Refreshments for the June board meeting is reduced to $425. Postage will be at $762, and there was a live streaming vendor adjustment of $107. So now we need a motion from the floor for this. Okay, Danielle. Mm-hmm. And seconded, okay, over here. Thank you, thank you. Is there any discussion? Nope, seeing none, we're ready to vote. So to vote in approval of the unspent funds as I have outlined, all in favor? Thank you. I believe that it counted everybody. Was there any abstentions, recusals? We are all done. Great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane Marie. Okay, we've come to the point of the meeting where I'm going to ask for old business. Okay, seeing none. Any new business? Pierre.
I just was reading that there's going to be on July 4th, all these boats going back and forth underneath the Veritano, a big event. Are we planning for that? Are we as a board going to go down on the shore? I don't know. I'm just bringing up the topic.
Hi, Pierre. Well, we haven't been contacted officially, but I think that what I've been reading is there's going to be a whole bunch of new ships a bunch of ships coming by right by here. So I'll make sure we get some of that and put it out. And if there's something that we could do as a board, I think it's pretty cool. I'd love to do that. It's very exciting. So stay tuned. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, any other new business?
Thank you. So as Josephine had mentioned, that we're going to have the 3rd Avenue cleanup. So to honor Eleanor Shano, and we also have a cleanup. So if you want to participate and volunteer to help us clean 3rd Avenue, so send me an email or text me, and the bags and gloves will be provided, and you get a free T-shirt. Yes. We're working on that, and it looks pretty. And I told them I want it in white shirt, and then with the colorful design. And then the second one is a fun-filled things where to support the local scouts, Troop 18G is hosting a bingo night. Yes. So it's in May 16, Bay Ridge Catholic Academy, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. So please come and help the scouts. Thank you.
Steve.
Yeah, now I want to ask that question. I'm not quite sure who. Okay. Did you say that they were? I forget who gave it in their report, but with respect to the street side, street cafes, were they're considering allowing them to extend into the residential districts, or is it other districts?
I have to go back to my notes, but I believe that it may abut the residential property. There was something about the property line. The only thing that I believe we mentioned residents was for the IBX expansion, that it may involve taking residential properties. I think there was about the
Adjacent buildings. Yes, adjacent businesses, but they were businesses. Not homes. On the commercial, within the commercial corridor, within the commercial, right? Frontage of certain cafes upon consent, to expand the frontage for certain cafes. So this reminds me of, so if you have a different type of business next door and you had a restaurant, if you get permission of the next door neighbor, you can expand the size of your property owners, right?
Just listed it
As property owners.
So that was where.
We'll have to look into that.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any other new business? Yes, sure.
We also have raffle basket, and one of them is a smart TV. Yes, so, and then more.
Okay, any other new business? I think somebody's aching to make a motion. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? All right, seconded? Okay. Thank you, everybody. Good night, and we'll see you next month.